Today we will take a look at the best iPhones for this year. If you want to find more information, check out links down below. Before we start, make sure you click subscribe button and like this video. Now let's get started. 5. iPhone 13. The iPhone 13's brighter display, longer battery life and powerful cameras make it the best iPhone for those on a budget. Apple's made the iPhone 13 far more powerful than its Android competitors thanks to its 5G-ready A15 Bionic chip. The iPhone 13 has some flaws. The charging is still relatively slow compared to some Android phones. There's really two design changes of note for the iPhone 13. The cameras on the rear are now arranged diagonally instead of vertically. The power button is lower on the right side, and the same thing goes with the ringer switch and volume buttons on the left side. There's really two design changes of note for the iPhone 13. First, the cameras on the rear are now arranged diagonally instead of vertically. The smaller notch doesn't make much of a difference in day-to-day use of the iPhone 13. When watching videos in landscape mode side by side at full screen, I didn't find either notch that distracting. The power button is lower on the right side, and the same thing goes with the ringer switch and volume buttons on the left side. 4. iPhone 14. The iPhone 14 is a very good phone for the money, offering improved cameras, a faster A15 Bionic chip and fun action mode for video capture. The iPhone 14 colors are Midnight, Starlight, Blue, Purple, Red and Yellow. The iPhone 14 remains compact and fairly light, weighing 6.07 ounces and measuring 5.78 by 2.82 by 0.31 inches. The iPhone 14's 6.1-inch Super Retina XDR display remains one of the best screens in the price range in terms of quality, even though there are no upgrades over last year. The iPhone 14 looks and feels a whole lot like last year's model, and that's not entirely a bad thing. The iPhone 14 has an upgraded dual-lens camera system that's enhanced by some fancy new software magic called the Photonic Engine. One of the iPhone 14's biggest camera upgrades can be found in the video department, thanks to a new action mode that's designed to keep your videos stable even as you're capturing some fast-moving action. Apple touts the iPhone 14 as having all-day battery life, including up to 20 hours of video playback, and based on my testing so far, that's not hyperbole. Apple touts the iPhone 14 as having all-day battery life, including up to 20 hours of video playback. 3. iPhone 14 Plus. The iPhone 14 Plus is an excellent choice if you're looking for a big screen experience for a relatively affordable price. The iPhone 14 Plus is wider, taller, and heavier than the iPhone 14, and the only dimension that stays the same is the thickness at 7.8 mm. Made from aluminum and glass, it's a step down in luxury from the stainless steel and glass Pro models, but with this comes the advantage of low weight. The iPhone 14 Plus has an IP68 water resistance rating, the aluminum body should be hard-wearing, and the ceramic shield glass over the screen certainly seems to hold up over time. The glass rear panel is more of a durability concern. The iPhone 14 Plus shares the same 12-megapixel main camera and 12-megapixels wide-angle camera system as the iPhone 14, while on the front is another 12-megapixels camera for selfies. The iPhone 14 has some modest battery improvements over the iPhone 13. 2. iPhone 14 Pro. Apple's iPhone 14 Pro offers a number of welcome upgrades over the standard model while being smaller and easier to handle than the Pro Max, but its battery doesn't last as long. The iPhone 14 Pro measures 5.81 by 2.81 by 0.31 inches and weighs 7.27 ounces, dimensions that are, for all intents and purposes, identical to the 13 Pro. The phone carries over the 120 Hz promotion tech from last year, but is able to slow the refresh rate down to just 1 Hz to conserve power. The iPhone 14 Pro has a 3200 mAh battery, which is well below the 4500 to 5000 mAh cells in competing flagships, including the 4323 mAh battery in the 14 Pro Max. The 14 Pro can hit a maximum wired charging rate of 20 W when used with a compatible charger, though you have to pony up for the charging brick. The 14 Pro battery charged from 0% to 50% in 30 minutes, which is equal to Apple's claims. A full charge took close to 80 minutes. Samsung's Galaxy S22 family can charge in as little as 75 minutes when connected to Samsung's faster 45W charger. 1. iPhone 14 Pro Max. The iPhone 14 Pro Max isn't just the most powerful phone around. It's a joy to use, thanks to the clever new dynamic island for displaying notifications and live activities. Once again, Apple has made the fastest phone around with its A16 Bionic chip. There are 4 color options for the iPhone 14 Pro Max: deep purple, silver, gold, and space black. The iPhone 14 Pro Max's display refresh rate can scale all the way down to 1 Hz. Apple designed its AOD to essentially mirror the lock screen. Apple has shaken things up with its cameras on the iPhone 14 Pro Max, offering a 48MP main wide sensor for the first time. By default, the sensor will group every 4 pixels in a quad pixel and optimize for better light capture in 12 megapixels photos. The 48 megapixels camera also enables a new 2x zoom option that joins the 12 megapixels 3x telephoto zoom lens. The iPhone 14 Pro Max's A16 Bionic is Apple's first chip built using the 4nm process, and it's once again the fastest chip in a phone.